Now, over the past month, we've seen students from various college campuses ripping down Israeli hostage posters. These kids, they'll do it shamelessly. Some even feel empowered, if you can believe that. But why? That's the question, right? Why would anyone feel empowered by this? These posters, by the way, aren't political by any means. Take a look at this one. This is baby Kfir, that is. He's now 10 months old. He was 9 months old when he was kidnapped from Hamas. He was taken on October 7th from Israel to the Gaza Strip. He's missing. His whereabouts unknown, it says. The poster states that he was, quote, brutally separated from his loved ones by Hamas. That's the gist, all of which is true. Hamas admits this. They've kidnapped people. So what message are these kids sending to the world when you try to erase the brutality of Hamas? Where are those hostages? That's what we want to know here. I've heard pushback on these posters. Why are they even up in the United States, in London, in France? These kids were taken in Israel. Well, I'll tell you why, because the world needs to know what Hamas is doing and bring awareness to this issue. Because anti-Semitism is still alive and well, because people are sympathetic to terrorists without fully comprehending what they actually want, what they have pleaded to the world, and what they want to do to Israel and the U.S. You just have to read their charter. It's a simple Google search. The latest poster-ripping phenomenon can be seen in the city of Pittsburgh. Let's take a look.
Hello there. Are we taking these down?
Yeah.
Oh, how come?
Propaganda.
Why is it propaganda? These people were kidnapped.
It's nothing in proportion to the genocide that's happening in Gaza.
Is terrorism heroic?
You know what martyrdom means in Islam?
What does
No.
it mean? What does it mean?
Is terrorism heroism? Can you tell me? Do you think it's heroic to slaughter children and mutilate them?
These people think that they're doing something. Well, joining me now, it's political analyst Logan Dubel. Hey, Logan, thanks for joining me tonight. You know, it's really hard to believe these are places we call higher learning. These students at the University of Pittsburgh, like we just saw in that video, they push these anti-Israeli ideologies from protests to the removing of these hostage posters on campus. Why?
They just genuinely don't care about these hostages. As you mentioned, these aren't political flyers at all. You have conservative and Jewish students nationwide hanging them up to really raise awareness and pray that these people find their way home. A lot of them are Israelis. We also have American hostages. And these pro-Palestinian protesters, as you saw in the videos just played, are taking them down, crumbling them up, laughing, and wearing masks to hide their identity. So it's almost as if they know what they're doing is wrong. And we've had a couple batches of posters torn down at the University of Pittsburgh. As all of this is happening, you have the same protesters doing multiple marches a week. Just recently, there was also a die-in protest where they all played dead on the lawn, demanding for a ceasefire. While that was happening, I saw students eating snacks on their phones, kind of chatting it up. So they don't really even care about that either. And it's a little bit hypocritical, if you ask me, because you also mentioned in your intro that these students that are tearing down the photos are saying that why are they even up in this country? As if they're laying on the floor and demanding a ceasefire is going to do anything either.
Right. I mean, they're calling for a ceasefire. They're calling for a two-state solution, not understanding that Hamas doesn't even want that. They're calling for these things, and then they have the criticisms of just people wanting to raise awareness about where the heck are these Israeli families and Americans for that matter, too. It's not just Israelis. There's a lot more people that were there on October 7th at that rave and other kibbutzes around the border of the Gaza Strip to Israel. We just want to know where they are. That's it. And listen, to that point, too, Logan, it's not like, you know, the people ripping down these posters, they're doing it. They have a political statement to make. No one's stopping them from putting a poster up of their humanitarian whatever wants and needs. I mean, they can certainly do that as well, but they're not doing that. This reeks of politics.
No, it does. And it's clear that the universities have their side and have picked out who they want to support on these campuses. You have Jewish students, and it isn't even really just Jewish students, but students who want to raise awareness for these hostages, who seem to be the only one to have obstacles with their activism, getting the posters torn down, getting backlash for it. And then you have all of these marches and all of these protests and the die-ins, and they don't really seem to get disrupted. And it's funded by the university, it's supported by the university, and we really need these universities to reverse course and condemn Hamas and support the Jewish students whose lives are actually on risk on our campus. I'm not sure if you or the viewers have seen, but recently there was a Cornell student who threatened to shoot up the dining hall. There was also a Jewish man who was sadly killed at one of the pro-Israel events.
Right.
So it's clear who is in trouble here and who's in danger, and we don't really seem to see that sort of support or protection for these people.